Hello everyone, my name is Luminita and I'm endlessly happy that there is an increasing interest into the topic of presentation and particularly about Pecha Kucha. And I've already created some videos about Pecha Kucha, what this is, so if you've never ever heard about that, go and check it out here. Also how to create it quickly, how to create it extensively, an example and so on. But what I've realized is that so far I gave you tips on how to create the presentation or how the presentation should be. And I've never ever talked about you, the presenter. So today I decided to wash this problem and solve this problem and finally give you dear Pecha Kucha, but not only Pecha Kucha presenter, some pro tips how to be the best when you present. Let's get started. And the very first thing that I want you to think about is your topic. Now there are two scenarios. Either this topic is given to you by your professor or your boss or the organizer of an event, or you have to think of a topic. Now if you are given this topic or if you're told what you have to talk about, well, then you have to do it. Yet you can still bring your personal touch to it. If you have to choose your topic, then you have the whole freedom to express your creativity and innovation in that. And many people might underestimate, many people might overestimate, but the topic is very important in the presentation because it's actually the base of everything. That's why either you're given the topic or you have to choose one. Really spend some time to think about what you want to talk about or what personal touch you want to bring to a given topic. Because the topic is usually also related to your title, if you have a title. And this is like here on YouTube, there's a title, there's a thumbnail. These are the first touch points with your audience. So this is important for people to know what is going on. And also, depending on the topic, you filter out your audience. And if people know, for example, straight from the beginning that you'll talk only about yourself, well, they might not be that interested, except you're very famous. That's why you might talk about yourself in a different context. For example, global warming or pandemics, something that more people are interested in. So you can integrate things, you can play around, but really choose wisely your topic. It has to be something interesting first and foremost for you, because if you are not interested in what you are going to talk about, then your presentation will be boring, your audience will be bored, and that's a fiasco. So first and foremost, really, my tip for you, dear presenter, is to think about your topic, something that you're interested in, something that you really want to talk about, something that you really want to share, that you feel like is worth to be shared with the audience. And third of all, a context, either paired with a context that will be interesting for others, or something that is interesting for you, but also for others. So really, first tip, think about your topic really well. The second tip is something that a lot of people unfortunately overlook, but I cannot stress this topic enough. When you decide to create a presentation, think of your structure. Think of the bigger picture of your presentation. If you just sit down and you start to write your presentation without thinking before how it should even look like, what is the body of your presentation? What is the what are the pillars of your presentation? Do you have, or do you want to go with a standard introduction, body, conclusion, or ending? Do you want to make it in a circular way? Do you want to make it in an infinite circle? I talked about it even in more detail in this video. Go and check it out here. But I really want you, after choosing your topic, to take your time and think of a structure and really put it down on a piece of paper or on your computer, but you have to think of an overview of the presentation before you start to think about what comes first, or your words or your pictures or whatever. Think of your structure right after you decided what topic you want to talk about. Because this video is concentrated on you as a presenter, we're going to move forward and we'll now talk about the presentation itself. Let's say it's already done. Now the third tip is to practice. This is your key to success, because Pecha Kucha presentation is a little bit different than the normal ones, so you have to stay in your time, in your 20 seconds, in your 20 slides. You don't have so much margin of error or so much space to move. If we are talking about a normal presentation or a standard presentation, of course you have a little bit more space, but still you have to practice it, because believe me, if you practice your presentation really well before you deliver it, you will be not nervous, or your nervousness will decrease exponentially, because you already did it, you already said it for so many times that when you finally have to present it in front of a public or an audience, it's something that you've already done. So you don't have to stress so much about forgetting words or not getting the order not getting the order right of the slides and so on. So really practice, practice, practice. Now you can either practice alone, and this is what I, for example, do many times. I talk to the wall, as weird as it sounds, but I stand out. I don't sit on the chair, I really stand out. I look at the wall in the room and I start to present, and I do it right exactly the same way as I want to do it in the real situation. So I move around, I make breaks, I really just do it for many times. And when I'm in front of the public, the only thing that changed, or the only variable that changed, is that I have a real public right now, or a real audience. But generally nothing changes. So this is what I do many times. I also know that some people use the mirror, so they speak in front of a mirror. I don't do that because for me personally it's weird, but if it works for you, you go for that. Other people film themselves. I also tried this myself, but it was a little bit weird for me to watch myself for, let's say, the whole 20 minutes, if the presentation is 20 minutes. Although now it's better since I have a YouTube channel. But you can either talk to the mirror, to a camera, and then watch yourself. Or if you don't want to be alone and you really want a real feedback from a person, ask a friend or a family member that you can trust. Ask this person to sit in front of you and imagine that this is your audience and you deliver your presentation to this audience. If you have an honest good friend or a good family member, then definitely go for this variant, because this person will give you a real feedback, real-time feedback, and you can learn to work with your audience. So yeah, really practice, 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 no matter if you do this to an empty room, to a wall, to a mirror, to a camera, or to a real person or a group of people. Practice is the key to success in this sense. In the previous step, I mentioned connecting with the audience, and this is my tip number 4 to you, dear presenter. Make sure that you are not living in a parallel world from your audience. So make sure you're not on your stage in your little house and you present and your audience is separated from you. Because in this case, your presentation can have the best topic, the best structure, you can have so much practice as it's even possible. But if you're not connected to your audience, if you don't have this communication, this dialogue, even if it's not a standard dialogue, I mean, you talk and the audience doesn't talk in this sense. But you have to have this connection, you have to have this dialogue to your audience. When you present to someone. You don't present it to yourself because you already know this whole information. So really make sure to connect with your audience. Make sure if you feel a little bit nervous, you don't have to have an eye contact with everyone. Find one person or two people or someone that you see that is interested in your topic and try to really present it to this person and to that person and maybe to a little bit of a wall, but then again to this person. So really try to make a connection, and then your presentation will not be a boring monologue anymore. It will be a conversation, it will be a discussion, and your audience will feel engaged. And when the audience feels engaged, only in this case the audience has a response to it. Only if a person feels that you are talking to him or her, only in this case this person will listen to you. So make sure to create a good connection to your audience. Again, it doesn't have to be with every single person that is sitting in front of you, but find 2-3 people that you present to, and I'm sure your audience will love your presentation no matter what topic you chose before. The 5th tip that I really want to share with you is stop having expectations. And I mean it either way. Don't expect your audience to love your presentation and throw flowers and underwear and bears or whatever to you. Don't expect that, because if you have too high expectations from your presentation, then you might get disappointed if it doesn't happen. At the same time, don't expect that everyone will hate your presentation. Don't expect that everyone will laugh at you, because in this case, you don't even try to have a good presentation because you already expect it to go wrong. So you will not even give it a chance. So try to not have expectations from your presentation. Try to be prepared and sure in yourself. And again, I'll say it again. Practice, practice, practice. No, don't expect, but know that your presentation is good. It has an interesting topic. It has a clear structure. You know yourself that you know what to say, and be sure that there are people over there, that these people either are voluntary there or they have to be there because it's a class. But know that you are good. Be sure of your presentation and don't expect things to go very well or very bad, because if you have no to little expectations and you have more knowledge, then you will not get disappointed afterwards. There are also many other things that I can suggest as a presenter, which is connected to your body language. If you have to move or stand still, if you have to speak loudly or speak not so loudly, if you have to be very engaging or rather very academical. There are many things that I can suggest to you, but maybe this is a discussion for another video. So if you're interested, leave me a comment in the comment section below. But for now, to wrap up my pro tips for you as a presenter or as a Pecha Kucha presenter: first, think of your topic. Think if it's a good topic, or bring a personal touch to a topic that is already given. Second, structure. Really take your time and decide what structure you want to take and keep up with this structure. Don't change it for 1,000 times during your presentation preparation. Third, practice, 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 practice. No matter if it's for you, for a wall, for a friend, in front of a mirror or a camera, you have to say this presentation for at least 5 times, if not 10. The fourth thing, you have to make sure that you connect to your audience. It doesn't have to be with every single person in the audience, but you have to have a connection with someone. And the last step is to have neither too high nor too low expectations from your presentation. Don't think what this can be or what reaction you might get. Be sure of the things that you can be sure of, meaning your presentation and yourself, and the rest will happen somehow. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Click on the bell button to get notified every single time when I post, Click here and here to learn even more about communication. Here to subscribe to my channel. Remember that communication builds connections and miscommunication builds a mess. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.